80-60 on a night where the Hawks just couldn't throw it in Lake Michigan. They couldn't consistently hit anything, especially in the first half. They had a lot of wide open looks. Northwestern's a solid defensive team, no question about it. They've won 20 games, are a solid second place in the Big Ten. The Hawks are still fighting for that double bye, and we'll update the standings here shortly. But lots to happen here in the next couple of weeks. These are the dog days of the Big Ten basketball grind, and as many as 11, looking at everybody's schedule and standings today, as many as 11, count them, 11 of the league's 14 teams have a mathematical chance to go dancing in March. Now, more realistically, 8 or 9 would perhaps qualify, including Iowa today if the season ended. But with 4 games and 2 weeks remaining prior to the Big Ten tournament in Chicago, let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? This is Hawk Talk with Coach Fran McCaffery, live from the Edgewater Grill and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville's Iowa River Landing. And thank you so much for joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gary Dolphin, along with the former Iowa, Utah Jazz, and Chicago Bull champion Bobby Hansen. Coach McCaffrey will join us in a few minutes. Last night in Evanston, the Wildcats protected their home court, Bobby, as so many teams do in this league.
Yeah, they certainly did, and Hawks just couldn't get the old ball to drop through the basket, Gary. Early, only 26 points in the first half, but you know, those guards are tough. They are just as advertised. I'm talking about Boo Buie and Chase Audige. Ty Berry got into the act. He had struggled a little bit to the last few games, but he got going early and hit some threes. And the Hawks were running uphill right from the get-go. So they battled in there, and the 1-2-2 was good. I thought they rebounded okay in that game. Actually, out-rebounded Northwestern 35-31, turned it over 15 times, probably too many, and Northwestern comes away with a win. And what an environment it was over there. Just as we drove back last night, just thinking about everything going on there, how different it is now. And Chris Collins has really got it going over there. And it all starts with good guard court, and they got a serviceable big man, Big Nicholson in there. Robbie Barron plays tough, but off the bench, that Brooks Barnheiser, the sophomore, I thought played really well as well. But good to see a lot of Iowa fans over there in Evanston. We heard the Let's Go Hawks a few times. Everybody was having a good time, but just couldn't come away with the victory.
Northwestern's defense so much improved, due in large part to Buie and Chase Audige. And then Audige picked up 2 early fouls. He didn't play a lot of that first half. A couple Hawkeyes got in foul trouble as well. But they did last night, and they can do that now. You know, Nicholson's 7 feet, Robbie Barron 6'10", but they love to jam things up in the middle, in the lane. They were doubling Philip Rebraca. They paid more attention to him than anybody else, as if to say, look, we know Chris Murray is going to get his points, but Rebraca's been a difference maker this year, almost a double-double every night out. But we didn't expect the Hawkeyes to suffer through a cold shooting night from the perimeter, hitting only 3 of 24 from 3. And the Wildcats, #1 in the Big Ten in turnover margin, forced 15 turnovers, to your point, Bobby, and that resulted in 14 Northwestern points. And those things happen on the road.
They certainly do. And, back to the defense that Northwestern plays, they really load up to the ball. Coach McCaffrey was telling us at practice they're going to shy over toward the ball, so take away a lot of dribble penetration. They collapse to the basketball and dare you to hit it from the outside. And when you're not hitting, you better be climbing the offensive boards. Hawkeyes did have 9 offensive rebounds, had 3 of them by Phillip. He is just going to continue to hustle and work and do everything he can possibly do. So they're not going to have another shooting night like that, Gary. I could almost guarantee you that. It's just one of those nights. And when the opponent, Northwestern, was 10 out of 20, 50% shooting, that's a recipe that it's going to make for a tough night.
Hawks had an impressive 92-75 win over Ohio State last Thursday, in which they shot the ball a whole lot better. Of course, that was at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Iowa nailed 10 threes and shot 57% from the field. The up-to-date standings have the Hawkeyes in a 4th-place tie at 9-7 with Maryland, Rutgers, and Michigan. With a trip to Madison coming up Wednesday night to battle the Wisconsin Badgers. What did you like about the Ohio State win, Bobby? Those 5 threes in the last 3 minutes of the first half put Iowa, they jettisoned from a tie game or a close game to, I think, a 10 or 11-point lead at the break, and then pulled away from there.
Yeah, they certainly did, and that was a big key to that game. I think it was tied or 33-32 in favor of Ohio State with about 4 minutes to go. Tony hits the three, puts the Hawkeyes up by 2. The timeout comes. Sensabaugh answers with a 3, and then it was Connor, Sanford, and Chris, and again Tony to give the Hawks an 11-point lead. That was a 12-0 run at that point inside the 4-minute timeout. What I liked was how Connor started the game defensively on Sensabaugh. He's a high-scoring, highly recruited freshman. He never got into the game. Connor never let him get going and forced 3 quick turnovers, I think it was. He booted it out of bounds, and commented to Connor at practice at Northwestern. I said, that was really good physical defense. You really took that young kid out of the game. And he just smiled, and he said, you got to do what you got to do here, at this time of the season to get going. And then he had 13 assists.
Career high.
Career high. No turnovers. That was outstanding by Connor McCaffrey there. And I just loved how he controlled the floor for the Hawks, put guys in position, always had his head up. He'd get the rebound, he'd look, throw it out ahead for some easy baskets. So, yeah, those are the things that you liked. Ohio State, start to feel bad a little bit for Coach Holtman and what's going on, or just not able to get a victory in a long time over there. And they went out on the road and just kind of a struggle, and did not expect that out of Ohio State. But kids aren't going to feel sorry for him, and really took it to him in that game over in Iowa City last week.
So with 3 to 4 games remaining on every team's list, the standings are going to continue to play shuffleboard here for 2 weeks, and all you can control now is what is right in front of you. And we'll talk to Fran in a couple minutes. He, by the way, is headed to a sub-state game, I'm told. Son Jack playing tonight. Matt Gatens will be joining us here shortly, filling in. We'll talk to Fran on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes, get his thoughts about this past week, and then we will. Coach is on the line right now. Let's bring Fran in. Coach McCaffrey, good evening.
How you doing, guys?
Doing great. We were just talking about what lies directly in front of Iowa and the rest of the league, Coach. 3 to 4 games remaining. That's all you can control in front of you. What's your thought process? Certainly you want to win the home games and do what you can on the road, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, but you want to play well on the road. We didn't play well yesterday. We fought hard. We didn't shoot it well. We have a tough game on Wednesday, and that's really all we're looking at. We don't look at, okay, we're going to win the home, we're going to lose the road. We're going to win the next game. That's the plan, and we got to get ready to play a really good Wisconsin team. They beat us here in overtime, and we need to go up there and play better than we did yesterday.
And, Coach, when you look at the shooting, I mean, it just jumps off the page. 3 of 24. That is not typical Iowa. That's not typical the way you guys shoot. How do you encourage your guys? What's the message to them? They were good shots. It just seemed like they didn't drop.
Exactly. I mean, we're going to keep shooting the ball. I'm going to keep encouraging my guys to shoot the ball. You got, like you said, Bobby, I mean, they were uncharacteristic misses for the guys that were shooting those particular shots. I can remember one shot that I would consider a bad shot, and it was by a good shooter, so I'm okay with him shooting it. You think about it, we make 3 out of 24, and one of them was a bank 3 at the end of the half.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just one of those nights where the ball was not going. It would have changed everything. We were 20 for 30 inside the arc, so we scored there. But when you're shooting poorly, you can't turn it over 15 times. We were forcing the issue a little bit. So we got to take better care of the ball, which is normally what we're very good at.
Yeah, great point. 31% shooting in the first half, 2 of 17 from 3. And then to your point, Fran, Aaron Eulis banked one in at the halftime buzzer, which cut Northwestern's lead to 11. And then Tony Perkins, 3 baskets early in the second half, helped slice that deficit to 47-40. So here you are, down 7 with 13 and a half to play. There was still a lot to play for. You were right. Hawks still had a chance as poorly as they had shot in that first half.
Well, think about that one stretch in the first half, guys. It was a 10-minute stretch where they only scored 5 points. And we still didn't really wipe out much of that lead because our offense was struggling the way it was. So the defense wasn't as bad. I mean, you go 10 minutes and you give a 20-win team 5 points. I mean, you got a shot. If you're just playing normally what we the shots we normally make. So we hung in there. We cut it to 7 in the second half and went zone, and there was a little bit of confusion. They hit a 3, and then we missed and they scored. So that was an unfortunate. To their credit, they were hitting, I think timely threes. A couple at the end of the shot clock, a couple if we made a mistake. So we just have to, we have to be better in those situations.
Yeah, it was a 10-3 Northwestern run after you cut it to 7.
Yeah.
They pushed the lead back to 14, then 18 after you sprinkle in the few technical free throws whistled against you and the Hawkeyes in the final 80-60. I know you can't talk about the technicals, Fran, but obviously that was a hot subject around Eastern Iowa today. I had a conversation with another broadcaster today, and we were talking about the officiating in general. But do the coaches have a conference call with the league each and every week when you're grading?
No.
You don't? Okay.
No, you do not.
Okay. You have the liberty, though, to make a call, don't you, and discuss what you were concerned with?
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
All right.
We do, and we have that option, and those conversations are ongoing every week, with different teams.
Coach, tell us a little bit about that silly coaching box. I don't quite understand it. And do you have to toe the line at the box, or if you step over, you're talking to your guys? I mean, I don't quite understand it. Can you help us understand?
Well, everybody knows where the coaching box is. Most of the time, they don't, adhere to the letter of the law. Okay, you take 1 inch outside the coaching box for a tee up. They don't. But they're supposed to, adhere to that to a degree. It was obviously I wasn't pleased with a number of things, and that's unfortunate. But we're just going to move on.
Well said. Hawkeyes are moving on at 17-10, 9-7 in the Big Ten. Wisconsin coming up at 8 o'clock Wednesday. Our pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network with Bobby and yours truly starts at 7 from the Kohl Center. We're going to get Fran's Club Car Wash keys to a victory over the Badgers in a minute. But Fran, we've got a couple questions here on Twitter and Facebook. Want to throw at you real quick. Eric, who loves Connor McCaffrey's play, his floor game. Coach, I'm concerned with next year. Who do you see taking over the on-floor coaching role once Connor graduates and leaves?
Well, I think there's a lot of candidates, for that position. Obviously, Patrick is one. You got Peyton Stanford. You got Tony Perkins as a possibility, and Aaron Eulis. I mean, those guys now are veteran guys. Connor's particularly good at that because he plays more than one position. I mean, his assist turnover ratio is through the charts. I mean, off the charts, 94-20. I mean, you just don't see those kinds of numbers.
No, for sure.
So I'm really happy for him, the way he's playing and the way it's affecting the rest of our team. Because not only that, he's rebounding, but the other thing is he has twice as many steals as he has turnovers, that's really unheard of. So,
number one in the country in assist turnover.
Number one in the country in assist turnover, and twice as many steals as turnovers. So, that just equates to winning. So I'm thrilled for him and thrilled for the team and how it's helping us.
We've got Matt Gatens coming in here shortly, Coach, to take us the rest of the way. But question from Anthony on Twitter. How far in advance does Coach McCaffrey assign who scouts each game for the assistants? That's pretty well cut and dried annually, isn't it?
Yeah, that's at the start of the year. Everybody knows all the games they have to get ready for.
All right, and on Facebook, Brandon, Coach, what bothered you the most last night about the loss at Northwestern?
Well, I think the turnovers. You have a situation where, you don't shoot it well. That's unfortunate. You feel bad about it, but as long as the guys are taking good shots, you're okay with it. You don't like it, but the turnovers is what would bother you.
And staying on Facebook, we're in the YouTube chat room now, Coach. Ken says, I think I've only seen Josh Agundale once or twice this year. At this point with the season almost over, is there any reason for him not to take a redshirt year?
He can't.
He cannot. Okay. All right. Well, let's rock and roll into the Club Car Wash keys to the game. Iowa and Wisconsin up next. Presented by the official car wash of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Club Car Wash, with unlimited membership starting at just $20 a month. There's no better time to join the club. Visit clubcarwash.com and find a location nearest you. Coach, you mentioned the loss to Wisconsin at Carver. You did not have Chris Murray that night and lost in overtime. And Chris means the world to the team. But here we are, 3 months almost later. What's different about Wisconsin now that perhaps wasn't so then?
Well, they made a change in the starting lineup. They got Officiating in the starting lineup in place of George Davis, who's still an integral part of the team, but he's coming off the bench. Officiating is, one of the best shooters in our league, maybe in the country. So that gives them, another real weapon, because they play that back down game with Wall and with Crowell, and then you got Klesmit, Officiating, and Chucky, spotting up, so they're kicking it out for threes, and you got to make sure your rotations are solid.
Coach, how about, can you explain a little bit, you don't have to go in depth on it, but that pack line defense that Wisconsin has always played, just, in a nutshell, kind of what is that, and just collapsing man-to-man, or what is that?
Well, you're playing man-to-man, you're in the gap, so you're limiting penetration. You're fighting the post. Now they do not all pack line defenses do as much switching as they do, but they do a lot of switching.
Okay.
Especially 1 through 4. They're going to switch 1 through 4, and play the 5-man straight up. Now sometimes they play drop coverage, sometimes they play hard hedge. They mix it up. They've been doing both. For years and years and years, it was a strictly drop. So we'll have to react accordingly when we see it.
Coach, the big junior forward, Stephen Crowell, is top 10 in the Big Ten in defensive rebounds, almost 6 a game, and 7th overall. He also leads the team in block shots. They, like a lot of teams, love to jam things up in there with, defensively I speak of, with him and Tyler Wall. So rebounding is always critical against Wisconsin, isn't it?
It is. The other thing about Crowell, they use him as a passer. He has almost the same exact assist turnover numbers that Chucky has, their point guard. So they use Crowell as a post feeder. They go in and out, and they also bring him up top, and then he hits cutters and so forth. He's really got a good feel.
Talking with Coach Fran McCaffery for another minute or so. Fran, the Kohl Center, like most Big Ten visiting venues, tough place, always loud. How do you like that place?
I don't particularly like it very much, but, it'll be a nice atmosphere. I mean, they always have a good crowd. We just got to go up there and do what we do. And that is take care of the ball, push the tempo. And like you said before, Dom, got to rebound.
Yeah, for sure. Chucky Hepburn is ranked 4th in the league in both steals and leads the team in three-point percentage too, Coach. He's a tough guard, isn't he?
Well, he's shooting 44% from 3. I mean, the kid, he's a good player. He's also a really good late-game player. So we got to make sure that we, pay attention to where he is at all times, especially late clock and late in the game.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned the tempo. I always thought with Wisconsin, you're always trying to push the tempo, try to get them going, but they're very difficult to trap them into getting going. We see some of that 1-2, the three-quarter court pressure, or just business as usual, make or miss, Hawks are going to run.
Yeah, we'll press them some. They know that. We'll extend the pressure a little bit, and we'll just keep pushing the tempo as best we can. A lot of times they bring everybody back to limit that, but last game they had 15 offensive rebounds, so, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, you're on the road tonight watching Jack play. Is this Sub-State? Did I have that right?
It's the first Sub-State game.
Okay, and where are you at?
No, we're at home.
Oh, you're at home.
We're at home
Okay.
against Prairie. Yep.
Again, Cedar Rapids Prairie. All right. The question about Connor and who handles the floor generalship when he leaves. I was reading an article this weekend about Brock Harding, your recruit point guard over at Moline. He's turning some heads. That recruiting class continues to improve, huh?
Yeah, he's special. I mean, he's got great feel, great vision, and he can also shoot the three. So, those guys like him who can create off the dribble and create shot opportunities for themselves or for other people, especially when he's surrounded with a bunch of guys who can play. Owen Freeman's having a spectacular season, as is Bryce Sanford, and also Najee Dembele.
Terrific. Well, Coach, enjoy the game tonight. We'll see you in Madison tomorrow.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Coach McCaffrey and his Club Car Wash keys to the game, presented by the official car wash of the Iowa Hawkeyes, Club Car Wash, with unlimited membership starting at just $20 a month. There's no better time to join the club. Visit clubcarwash.com and find a location nearest you. Now, with Wisconsin, Bobby, you know what's coming. You know what you're going to get. You're going to get tough, hard-line, pack-line defense. They protect the rim, and then they're going to try and get it to their shooters on the wing. But I like his line. They back you down. They back you down with Crowell and Tyler Wall, who's been their scoring leader, but he's had that bad ankle most of the year.
Yeah, I think he's healthy now last time I saw it, but when we saw him back in December, those two guys at the start of the games, you really got to pay attention to big crowd. He's a big body. As Fran said, he's got a good feel for passing the basketball. If CGN is hitting his three-point shot, the freshman from Fort Wayne, Indiana, they're tough. They're tough out there, so you got to pay attention to number 3, Connor CGN. He was 0 for 10, I think, in his last game, which was probably the worst game he's had as a Big Ten player here in his first year. But got a lot of parts. Chucky Hepburn is the drive shaft. He's the guy that is going to have the basketball most of the time. Jordan Davis is starting to play better. He is, comes off the bench now, a young man, a junior out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. And they'll be hungry. They're going to be a desperate team, Gary, because they did not expect to be too below 500 down there. So it should be a great game Wednesday night, late game, 8 o'clock tip.
Yeah, the Badgers 7-9, 15-11, and they're used to visiting postseason each and every year in the NCAA tournament. But to Bobby's point, they're fighting for their lives, and they're tied with Penn State, who's 7-9. You've got, we'll update the standings when we come back. We need to take a break here. Also, Keegan Murray was in the crowd last night over at Northwestern. Of course, it's the NBA All-Star weekend break. Keegan was involved in that as a rookie. They have so many sideshows over there at the NBA All-Star game. So he was playing in the Future Stars event, but flew in for the game, and we caught Keegan before the on the pregame show, did an interview with him. Thought you might want to hear a replay of that. We'll get to that as soon as we come back. But in the meantime, please come out and join us any night of the week here at Hawk Talk at the Hyatt Regency Coralville's Edgewater Bar and Grill, where you can enjoy extended happy hour from now until 8:30 tonight. Come and try their brand new menu and enjoy nightly specials, including $2 off draft beer, half off glasses of select wines. Buy one and get one half off appetizers and sandwiches. The food's great. Try the pretzel bites. I had those earlier here before we went on the air with the queso. Each time you come to the show, you're automatically entered into the hotel's drawing to win a range of prizes, including a free room night giveaway each week. All entry, we must have a couple winners here who ran away with the free night room giveaway. All entries will be pooled together for a grand prize drawing at the end of the season. So you can win a nice prize package courtesy of the Hyatt Regency Coralville Edgewater Bar and Grill right here in the Iowa River Landing. We'll take our first break. Don't forget Matt Gatens, former Hawkeye star and now assistant coach to Coach McCaffrey, will be joining us here shortly. That's all coming up and ahead, straight ahead here on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah, a home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning, setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now, kids can eat free.
Hawk Talk is live tonight from the Hyatt Regency in Coralville's Edgewater Bar and Grill in the Iowa River Landing. Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Matt Gatens will be joining us here in a few minutes.
Bringing us treats, too. Come on in here.
Courtesy of Lucy and Matt Gatens. Oh, I love these chocolate drops with the almonds in them. I'll save that for dessert later, okay?
They're called kisses.
Yeah. Is that what they're called? Candy kisses?
Kisses, yeah.
How about on
Matt's getting you one.
No, thanks. Bobby, this is for you on the YouTube chat room. Sven wants to know, with the shooting background last night, all of those long white noodles moving back and forth while Iowa was on offense and at the foul line, does that have an effect on the shooter? Well, it can.
It can if you're looking at it, but when you shoot the ball, you look at the rim. You got to pick out that spot on the rim, and you know, a lot of guys teach it differently. Front of the rim, over the front of the rim, middle of the rim, back of the rim. You got to find your spot. I mean, that's like putting. It's like playing golf. You just have to groove that swing, groove that spot you're going to look at. So I have to say, it could, if you're a little bit rattled up there and you're not confident, not comfortable, settling in at the line. But it was odd. I mean, I happened to look up. I'm making notes, and I looked up, and the kids were shooting. And man, those things, every kid had one behind the basket, and their balloons is what they were, because they started popping them as the game was over.
Oh, is that what they were?
Yeah, they were just popping in balloons. But yeah, good job by Northwestern. They really got their students engaged in that new arena that they've remodeled. Welsh Ryan Arena did a fabulous job with that, and it holds about 7,000. And so Chris is doing a good job.
Well, the Hawks were 11 of 16 from the free throw line, so that's just about their season's average. Miranda in Burlington wants to know which Big Ten cities do the Hawkeyes bus to, and does game time and day of the week factor into the decision? No, there is a rule in the Big Ten. If it's within a couple hundred miles, you have to bus. Iowa typically buses to Madison, to Champaign-Urbana, to leaving one. Illinois. Those three are very close, but they fly everywhere else typically. I mean, weather permitting, they fly everywhere else. If they had to bust to Minneapolis or Lincoln, that's getting out there a little long, but they could if they had to. So, they do fly to and from most Big Ten cities, most road games, really, Miranda. So thanks for your question from Burlington. John, in the YouTube chat room, you knew this was going to come up. The 10 seconds to cross the half court can be pivotal in a competitive game, and that happened last night. That's where Coach picked up his first technical, arguing that play, and it was clearly a 10-second violation on Northwestern, but they missed it. They missed it. Is that reviewable? Can that be reviewable in the future? Like if a shot got off in time or a toe on the three-point line, it would be a quick review. Obviously, they don't review that.
They don't review it, but that's a good question, and maybe that is something that the Rules Committee could throw up on the agenda next time they meet. Because that was a pivotal play right there. I mean, they throw it ahead and get the dunk, and I looked up and it said 19 on the shot clock, so the shot clock starts at 30, 10 seconds, should be at 20. It was at 19 when the kid released the basketball. So, tough one there, but nobody wants to belabor that. Just move on. Yep.
I mean, if it goes against you, it's always tough, but you move on. And when the Hawks shoot 3 for 24 from 3, chances are good. There's going to be a couple calls that you're upset with. But if you'd like to reach us on Twitter and or Facebook, we're here until 8:30 tonight. Coach Gatens will take your questions at Gary Dolphin on Twitter or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. So that's at Gary Dolphin on Twitter, facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks, or you can reach us on the YouTube chat room of our live video feed as we wave to you collectively. Thanks for joining us tonight. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn. And those connections translate into victories for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin. Those farmers will be out in the field softening that dirt up in a couple months. Our program tonight is brought to you by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is on a mission to find us again by putting down our phone lines in the Phones Down for 5 challenge. 5 days, 5 hours, even 5 minutes. Find out more at uscellular.com/findus. Well, former Hawkeye great Keegan Murray was in the crowd last night watching brother Chris play at Northwestern with Dad Kenyon, the rest of the family, and Bobby and I grabbed Keegan for a little visit before the game.
Welcome back. You're in Salt Lake City, my old home there. How's Salt Lake for you there this weekend?
It was fun. I had a good time. My mom ended up coming, so we both had a good time there, and we won the Rising Stars thing. So
I saw that, yeah.
It turned out pretty good.
For Team Powell, right?
Team Powell, yep.
Pau Gasol was how was the whole experience out there for you as a rookie going out there? I mean, you're taking the league on, setting it on fire, Keegan. Congratulations there.
But, yeah. It was like it was a whirlwind, like right when you land. I mean, you land, you go right to media, and then just meetings and stuff with Adidas. So I was busy 24/7 when I was there.
We've gotten to see a few games out on the West Coast. I think I checked the numbers a couple days ago. You're 12 points, 5 rebounds a game, shooting the 3 pretty good. What's been the most fun about your rookie year? What's been the biggest adjustment for you?
Yeah, I think the most fun's just been winning, especially at home. Our atmosphere is wild in Sacramento, so it's always sold out. It's always fun to play there, and just, I mean, it's just different from college with the travel schedule and things like that. So if you're on the road, you just have to adjust, and I feel like I've adjusted to it pretty well. So,
well, I'm delighted because I'm an old Kansas City Kings fan growing up. Nate Archibald. I go back to the Cincinnati Royals with Oscar, but it's great to see you. You've got to be thrilled for how the Hawks are playing this year, especially your brother.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched almost every game, so just watching them, and they're hot right now. So it's good to see. It's kind of how we went last year. So just seeing them, what's up, Pat? Just seeing them do their thing right now.
All the Hawks are walking by, heading to the locker room with a
good luck pump,
fist pump.
Really?
That's what. Boy, what a year he's had.
Yeah, I mean, they've been great. Just seeing them be successful at the top of the Big Ten again. Keep reloading every year. It's been cool to see.
Yeah, it's great work by Keegan Murray there, and it was a surprise to see him walk by there, and I did a double take. I thought it was Chris out of uniform was coming back, but it was Keegan. Saw Kenyon there, and the whole family was there having a good time cheering on the Hawkeyes. So Keegan hit the game-winning shot, didn't he, in the Rising Stars? They played to 40 points, I think, all these games, and he hit a three-pointer to win that segment for his team. So, again, he is setting the league on fire, taking notice. The rookie, he will have the rookie three-point record by the end of the season, three-point field goals made. So that's Keegan. When we come back here from this break, we will have assistant coach Matt Gatens. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
Running a business is a lot of work. Luckily, I've got a great partner.
Oh, I think you...
I meant U.S. Bank.
I knew that.
U.S. Bank Business Essentials is a huge help to us.
Totally. Their comprehensive point-of-sale system does it all. Tracks inventory, manages schedules, customizes orders.
Plus all the regular banking stuff.
If only it could make coffee.
Nah, that's your job.
From point of sale to quick loans, we have many ways to make your business boom. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At U.S. Cellular, we think phones are great, but they're not always great for us. Because while they connect us to so much, they can also distract us from, well, us. The us that actually laughs out loud with each other instead of just texting it. That knows being in the same room doesn't always mean being together. So let's find us again by putting our phones down. Not forever, just for 5. 5 days, 5 hours, even 5 minutes. Join U.S. Cellular in the Phones Down for 5 challenge. Find out more at uscellular.com/findus.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value brand.
So get to your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Back on Hawk Talk at the Hyatt Regency, Edgewater Bar and Grill. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to our regulars who come out each and every week for Hawk Talk. We've got just a couple shows left over the next couple weeks before postseason gets here. Hawks will be playing somewhere, but if you get an opportunity, we'd love to have you come out. For both remaining Hawk Talks, courtesy of our friends here at the Hyatt Regency. Thanks to Matt and the entire staff for taking good care of us all season long. Tonight's Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey and with Coach Gatens is sponsored by Bud Light. Bud Light proudly welcomes Hawk fans to Carver Hawkeye Arena this year. Bud Light is for the fans. A great visit with Keegan Murray. He's doing well and will continue to do well. He's a star for a long time with the Sacramento Kings, and it was great to see Keegan last night. We are available on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at voiceofthehawks.com. And we're going to go back. We're also on the YouTube chat room. I gave that wrong address, didn't I? On Facebook, the address facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. Okay, so if you have a tweet question, anybody here in the audience in the room would like to come up and ask Coach Gatens anything, please do so. With that, we welcome in Hawkeye assistant coach Matt Gatens. I'm still getting used to saying Hawkeye assistant coach Matt Gatens. You were one of Iowa's all-time great scorers, especially from distance, and you had the scout on the Northwestern game, and you did a remarkable job because we had so many wide open looks that just tonight they weren't falling. I know that had to be painful for you.
Yeah, it's tough. You thought we got some good looks, at the end of the night, especially, watching it live, being there, and then, watching it on film. It's just one of those nights, and Coach referenced it after the game, it's just, it's tough when you go 3 for 24 from deep, miss some free throws, just uncharacteristic things, and turn the ball over. It's life on the road in the Big Ten. You got to do a better job taking care of the ball. And, we do our best to get good looks, and you just got to knock them down. And hopefully we'll going forward. I think we will.
What was the message today in the team meeting? Plenty to play for yet?
Yeah, absolutely. We're staying really positive with the guys. We're in a good spot. Just got to keep plugging along. You're go on the road to Wisconsin next, and it's a tough team. Really not like any place in this league, tough place to play. So. We'll be ready, though. We're excited to go up there and play the Badgers, a team that we kind of owe a little payback to from, seems like a long time ago, or that pre-break, Big Ten game. It seemed like so long ago, but we owe them a little payback from a game we felt like we could have had. It was an overtime game. Chris didn't play, and it was, going through some injuries at that time, so it was. It'll be good to hopefully get some payback against them, and we're excited to go up there.
Yeah, what is the? Well, I'm not going to ask you for a whole bunch of keys because there's a lot of keys. But in your mind, Matt, when you play Wisconsin, as a player, now as a coach, what is the number one thing that you prepare your guys for?
The thing we've always talked about here in the past has been, trying to control the pace. To do that, obviously we're going to get the ball and misses, makes turnovers, we're going to run. Our pressure can hopefully maybe try to speed them up a little bit, take some clock, and then then they're operating with a short clock, and maybe they or the press will make them shoot a quick one or turn it over, ideally. But control the pace is key. But like Northwestern plays. There's so many teams in this league play that way. Purdue walks it up and runs a play every time. Northwestern the other night. We talk about that all the time. Playing our identity, playing our pace, and getting the game going a little faster. And I think that's what the fans want to see too. They don't want to see a little slow walk it up game. So hopefully we can get them playing our pace and then get in the past when we've had success against them. We've been able to do that.
Fran was just on with us a few minutes ago as you were coming in, and he was talking about Connor Essegian and what a great shooter he is, and talking about Iowa's shooting woes. Last night he was 0 for 10 against Rutgers. I mean, that seems impossible, but great shooters have those days. I know you never had one of those. But,
no, sure, I did. But you forget about those days.
It's frustrating, I'm sure, for him as it was last night. But to Fran's point, keep shooting. That's all you can do. Keep shooting.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my dad, my first coach, he always said, you shoot to get hot and you shoot to stay hot. So that was one thing I always tried to live by. Hopefully it's more the staying hot. So I'm sure he's the same way. He's a shooter. He'll probably come out really aggressive. That's what you have to do. If that's your job, and that's the team expects you to do that. But he's a good player. He's a guy we recruited a little bit at Drake. I saw him play quite a bit in AAU, and good player. He kind of late in his summer he started to kind of blow up and get some high major looks. So it didn't go much further than that. But he's having a good freshman year. He's a guy that's a good weapon for them. He was coming off the bench earlier, like when we played them at our place, but now he's in a starting role for them and playing a key piece for them.
Hey, Matt, when a guy gets hot, whether it's a Essegian or the kid Braden Smith from lawyer kid from Purdue, I always had a tendency to just deny him the basketball. In my defensive career, I don't want to let that guy touch the ball, and you just kind of attach yourself, get inside his jersey, and that's something you guys subscribe to?
Yeah, at times, depending on who the player is. Like even last night, take Bowie for instance. He's tough because obviously he brings the ball up the court and he's going to have the but we put our press on, trying to deny him a little bit, or when he does give it up, like, hey guys,
don't let him get it
late
back.
in the shot, especially the last 10 seconds, like he's probably going to be trying to get the ball back and make a play. They play slow, and they score a lot at the end of the clock. Can we limit how much he touches the ball, and then someone else has to make a play, which we did a few times. It's just, they made it difficult. They're doing some certain screening actions, getting the ball back to him. They're a good staff. They did a good game plan. But at the end of the day, like talking about last night a little bit, like we guarded in the first half quite a bit. There was a 10-minute stretch where they only had 5 points scored. But on the other end, we just
Fran mentioned it,
we weren't scoring it. And typically, we're getting them to miss. We're running out. We're scoring in transition. It just wasn't happening last night. We got some good looks and just wasn't our night. So a lot of positives with the guys today and even the locker room last night, just to keep their heads up and know we did some good things.
The day after, are you guys breaking down the tape and showing them individually and then as a team? And here's what happened and here's what we want to happen.
Yeah, some both. Bring some guys in individually, then we always watch as a team. We'll pull some clips and do a full team review. Some games it's 20 clips, some games it's close to 50, depending on the certain games what happened. But there was good things we showed them. There's also plenty of teaching points like there are in any game. So a lot to learn from last night. But at the end of the day, we competed for the most part. We got good shots and just got to knock them down.
Patrick McCaffrey in that game in early December with the Badgers had a career-high 24 points.
Yeah.
Number one, it's just great to have him back. He's competing. He's probably not wind-wise or leg-wise, leg strength-wise 100% yet, but it's good having him out on the floor. That 6'10" body will cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, it's great. It just, it helps our depth. He's a veteran guy, IQ, skilled, and, it just fits how we play. So it's been great having him back. Obviously, he's working him back with his wind in his legs, and he's getting there. He's playing at a great level. That Wisconsin game was awesome. Was huge down the stretch, big time shots. So, looking forward to having him back here, fully healthy and in shape for this stretch run.
Yeah, you played. You're talking about the tough night shooting the basketball. You played almost 10, 12 years ago, or at least started your career at Iowa. Has anything? What's changed defensively about college basketball over the last decade, if anything, in your view?
The past decade, so much has shooting the ball has just changed so much. It wasn't accepted to shoot as many threes or as deep or tough shots, and Bobby could probably attest to this. Even though it was only 10 years ago, I wish I had the freedom that so many teams. And now, when I was here, we did play with freedom. We played with pace. We shot threes, but it's just on a whole nother level now.
It's blown out.
I don't know if people, the Steph Curry effect or whatever. Analytics in NBA, carries over. It's just fully acceptable now to shoot. He went 0 for 10,
a season, yeah.
Or what, I don't know, was he 0 for 10 from 3 or 0 for 7 from 3, I think?
He was 0 for 10 for the game.
For the game.
What I read.
Just to take 10 threes in the game, or 15. You see these wild numbers of how the freedom to shoot threes, which is great for these guys. It's just I don't think we ever thought that way or was accepted to do that. Which is then you got to change how you guard to do that. Teams have more shooting, more skill, makes guarding pick and roll tougher. Just more space on the floor that you have to cover, closing out and guarding your yard on a tough closeout with a guy that can shoot and drive it. Guys are more skilled now. For sure, shooting the ball, and it's just accepted.
Yeah, and Fran and I, Fran and Dolph and I talked about it one of the earlier shows that back in the day, if you will, get close. How close can you get to the basket to get a good shot rather than, as you mentioned, the analytics come into play. That's a bad shot. It's a 12-foot two-pointer.
Yeah.
And now, you get the advantage of taking that three. So just talk about a little bit of the analytics and how much of that do you guys use?
We do some. We don't go full overboard that a lot of programs or maybe the NBA does. We still we want to take good shots, and if it's a good player with an open shot in rhythm, if it's at the rim, if it's a pull up, if it's Tony Perkins shooting a lot of analytics would say that all the shots he made against Illinois to have 32 points would say that's not a good shot. Well, it is for Tony Perkins and for Peyton Sanford and Patrick McCaffrey, shooting a pull up AU in rhythm, in space, I'll take that shot all day.
It's a shot, yeah.
So, but a lot, in the NBA, they'll say it's, we want it at the rim, at the free throw, or a three. So, I don't love a lot of it. I think it's kind of made the NBA. Everyone kind of plays the same way a lot, and it's a lot of 3-point shooting, a lot of space, a lot of pick and roll. It's just everyone's very not as much isolation and post up and that. I don't want to be the get off my lawn guy, but just kind of how it is now. I think we play a fun. It's modern, but it's it's a little throwback motion, cutting, moving, screening, not as much standing and just being in space and letting one guy go with the ball screen. Which is one reason why it's tough to guard. The stuff we do, and that's why you look at the analytics. We've been top 5 or top 10 in the nation in offensive efficiency in Coach McCaffrey's time here, and that's a big reason why that's the offense that we run.
In our radio position there, normally it's by the home bench there, and we always hear Fran saying, move, 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 and the guys get to moving, and they get some back cuts.
Yeah.
Peyton Sanford really good at that. Just talk about that as part of your offense.
Yeah, the movement's really, really key. And when we get in a rhythm, like the Ohio State game was a great, especially the second half, we were really in a rhythm, cutting. Obviously, Connor had an incredible night passing the ball, but just like the guys that were still cutting and were just, had good connectivity between guys cutting, slipping, setting flares, pin downs. It was all, in really good rhythm, And then last night, they do some certain things that they switch and they do, but like 2 weeks ago, we carved it up pretty well. It's just the motion games, kind of get in a rhythm. The pace helps. Just cut. The timing of it, and we work on it a lot. We practice it a lot, and it's tough to guard because it's very, it's not pattern. A lot of these offenses are, hey, they're going to do this, they're going to run a ball screen. Us, it's tough to scout against, and coaches tell us that all the time, just because it's random. It's tough to prepare for because it's tough to get your scout team to be okay, just go out there and run around. Well, it's some of that, but there's also some very. There's some connected movements and guys reading certain spacing, bodies. Are guys going under? Are they going over? And are they switching? Just tons of different things that the guys work on and read.
I don't remember this much ball screening or screens in general versus when you were playing.
Yeah.
Am I forgetful, or is that accurate?
It's definitely more now. People ball screen then, but it's for sure more now. You're correct there. Yeah.
Well, it's a much more physical game, or as physical as it was a decade ago. Bodies running into each other. By the way, for the record, Connor Esigian was 0 for 10, 0 for 7 from 3. Yeah. So you're correct. He's a really good three-point shooter. Wisconsin was 19 of 57 from the field against Rutgers. The Hawks were 23 of 54 against Northwestern. So similar stats. Both teams looking to break out. Certainly the Hawkeyes hopefully will on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock tip-off here on the Hawkeye Radio Network, 7 o'clock for the pregame show. We'll take a break, come back with Coach Gatens and Bobby Hansen. We're at the Hyatt Regency in Coralville. Man, are they excited to announce their full guest room renovation in the spring of 2023, coming up here in a couple months. Inspired by the Iowa City area's rich literary culture and the natural beauty of the Iowa River. The updated guest rooms will be refreshed from top to bottom and feature all new modern furnishings, extra large televisions, and new technology throughout. The renovation will also include a refreshed dining experience with an all new restaurant and expanded coffee shop to include a market for items on the go. The Hyatt team looks forward to sharing these exciting updates with the community in just a few months and as the year wears on here in 2023. So if you've got friends, relatives coming in from out of town, make sure you stay. Get your reservations now at the Hyatt Regency here in the Iowa River Landing. A great setting with Extreme Arena, great restaurants open now, and more on the way. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll do a U.S. Bank scoreboard update. There is one other game of the Big Ten tonight about to start. That's Minnesota at Illinois. A couple of other scores we'll pass along next year on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
At US Cellular, we think phones are great, but they're not always great for us. Because while they connect us to so much, they can also distract us from, well, us. The us that actually laughs out loud with each other instead of just texting it. that knows being in the same room doesn't always mean being together. So let's find us again by putting our phones down. Not forever, just for 5. 5 days, 5 hours, even 5 minutes. Join US Cellular in the Phones Down for 5 challenge. Find out more at uscellular.com/find us.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Hawkeye basketball Wednesday from the Kohl Center in Madison. We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. Tip with the Badgers at 8 as the Hawks try and even up the season series. Let's give you a U.S. Bank scoreboard for this evening. Minnesota is at Illinois. That's the makeup of a game postponed a couple weeks ago, and Minnesota had some COVID issues. The Hawkeyes fortunately were able to play their game on schedule. Minnesota is at Illinois tonight. And talking with Mike Grimm, who's an Iowa native and play-by-play voice for the Gophers, he said they get on a plane tomorrow and then fly to Maryland for a Wednesday night game. And then they get back on the plane and they fly to Lincoln to play Nebraska on Saturday. So that COVID postponement has put them behind the 8 ball. The Gophers struggling with a 1-13 season to boot. So it's Illinois hosting the Gophers tonight. If Illinois wins that game, they too move into that 9-7 log jam with Iowa, Rutgers, and Michigan, as well as the Maryland Terrapins. A couple women's games going on in conference play tonight. Ohio State leads Michigan. That's number 16 leading number 12 up in Ann Arbor. The Buckeyes 74, Michigan 61. They're under a minute to play at the Chrysler Center. Wisconsin has just gone final. The Wisconsin women have defeated Rutgers by a score of 88-62. Back to men's basketball. Duke at home whipped Louisville 79-62. Kansas and TCU, that's down in Dallas-Fort Worth. Number 3 Kansas, number 24 TCU are about to tip off here shortly. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update, courtesy of U.S. Bank. They bring you all of our scoreboard updates throughout the season. Let's pause right now, 10 seconds for station identification. We're live with Hawk Talk. Coach McCaffrey with Coach Gatens pinch hitting tonight. We appreciate Matt's attendance. 10-second ID break here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk. Thanks to our flagship stations, WHO in Des Moines, WMT in Cedar Rapids, and KXIC here in Iowa City for carrying Hawk Talk along with 50-plus stations around Iowa and the Midwest. A little bit later on tonight, we will take our favorite or submit our select our favorite question of the night for Coach McCaffrey. And in this case, Coach Gatens, you still got time to get in via Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. You could win a $100 gift certificate for Hawkeye gear from Authentic Brand. Thank you, Authentic Brand, for the $100 gift certificate. Authentic Brand is a proud partner of Hawkeye basketball and football, not only outfitting our broadcast crew, but outfitting thousands of Iowans and fans on game day. Gear up for game day and every day in officially licensed Hawkeye apparel and accessories from Authentic Brand. All right, we'll take one more break, come back with more of your questions here as the Hawks get set to take on the Wisconsin Badgers Wednesday. Live, we are at the Hyatt Regency. Back in a minute. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
At US Cellular, we think phones are great, but they're not always great for us. Because while they connect us to so much, they can also distract us from, well, us. The us that actually laughs out loud with each other instead of just texting it. That knows being in the same room doesn't always mean being together. So let's find us again by putting our phones down. Not forever, just for 5. 5 days, 5 hours, even 5 minutes. Join US Cellular in the Phones Down for 5 challenge. Find out more at uscellular.com/findus.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spon & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spon & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spon & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spon & Rose, buy easier, build better.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey and Coach Gatens. Matt had a question from one of our live in-studio, in-house here at the Edgewater Grill and Bar at the Hyatt Regency from Tim. He wanted to know how your golf game is these days, and are you still whipping the old man?
But the game's pretty non-existent right now.
Mm-hmm.
With
you got a few other priorities.
Yeah, the job and 3 kids at home.
How many babies? How many?
3.
3. So, what are their ages?
Nash is about to turn 7 this week.
Okay.
My daughter Noah turned 4 this past week, so February's been busy. And then Veda is about 8 months or so. So
happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah. February's busy.
Oh, well, congratulations on all 3, and of course your beautiful bride. Melissa's here in the audience. How will the Hawks handle a healthy Jordan Davis? He's not quite Johnny Davis, but he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good player. Coming off the bench now, good cutter. He's shooting the ball better now. So good player, versatile, a good defender. he's back, and then Wall's coming off kind of a midseason injury. Was playing really well against us the first game. He's just a tough cover. That all the back down post up stuff that they do, dribbling it down there. So you got do some smart digging or doubling at a time. So just he's a tough cover there on offense, and then they load him up with shooters around him. So. But yeah, we'll be ready to go. Excited to play him up there.
Jordan Davis had a team-high 14 points in just 20 minutes versus Rutgers last Saturday in a 1-point loss by the Badgers to the Scarlet Knights. Ken wants to know in the YouTube chat room, how do you best attack teams like Wisconsin and Northwestern that collapse and pack it in the lane?
Making shots is key, because they're going to pack it in there. So you got to share the ball. You got to take care of the ball. You got a lot of times play on 2 feet, avoid charges. Because both those teams seems like they hit the floor pretty hard if you touch them. So you got to space up, got to have good movement, got good spacing on the perimeter, and knock down shots. And then when you do get in there, being ball strong because they're trying to strip it and finish strong around the rim, but. Sharing the ball is key, getting out in transitions key before they set up and pack it in. So that's something we're always going to be trying to do, no matter who we're playing.
Matt, do you whisper in the referee's ear when you guys are shaking their hand before? It's like, watch the flop. Would you please? I mean, it's supposed to be a rule, right? But I don't see it called too often.
Yeah, I think they know. I was watching. There was a game. I think it might have been the Rutgers game. One of the guys went down pretty hard on just a very light hit, and then the ref didn't fall for it. He called a block, which was like, oh, that's good to see. I
thought a couple of them last night should have been blocks.
Yeah.
Anytime they're moving,
I agree.
I would call it a tackle. Our guys are driving to the hoop in the first half. That was, I think.
Yeah, it is. And then I don't want to get in the
right. Yeah.
But I thought those were tough in the first, and then Tony went in there off 1 foot, and I was nervous. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be a charge, and they called a block. So I was like, oh, maybe it's kind of evens out a little bit there in the second half. But,
tough night for the West.
That's a tough call to manage, for the referees to call. It's just, they barely moving, or they put the shoulder down, or they set. I had preferred they just guys don't get in front of you and fall down. It's just people, the fans don't want to see it. It's just not a great part of the game. But
the NBA, it's like you get plowed over, and it's like, get up.
Yeah, get up. I mean, we're not doing that here.
No.
Some coaches coach that way, and then some in the programs are really, really all about it. And so
we had this conversation, Bobby and I and Corey, on the way home last night. The ball that Northwestern uses, is it the same ball that the NCAA will employ in March? Is there a correlation between bad shooting nights and those Wilson balls? Seems like a yearly issue. I don't know about that, but what?
It is the same ball. I don't think so. I think that's just looking a little too far into it. We used that ball at it was Seton Hall, I believe, and we shot the ball well. It's just I don't think so. And at the Big Ten tournament now, I think is switching to that ball. It used to be Spalding, and I heard last night. I think they are going to the Wilson. I don't think it's that, but we use them in practice, and the few days before the games, we try to, and I think it is similar to the Nike ball, so it's not. It has a similar feel to it.
Is there a difference? The seam, the nubbins on it, the way it's manufactured?
Yeah, just the material a little bit, the bounce. Okay. I would be. I'm shocked there's not just a standard ball across. It would probably be the Wilson one, because that's what they use in the NCAA tournament. Why doesn't everybody just use the Wilson ball? For years,
Nike
Wisconsin had their own ball that nobody else used. It was the I'm blanking on it.
The Rock?
No.
Dowels?
It had something like no one. It was like a Wisconsin,
like a Riddell
local. No one else used it.
Oh,
only they used it.
They should be penalized.
They finally don't do it. And now that I think they use this Wilson one now. I don't know why they just don't put it all across the board and just use one ball. But I mean, I'm sure it's there you go, Bobby.
Yeah. Exposure, advertising.
Yep, there you go.
Hey, Purdue sits atop the standings at 13-4. Then Northwestern at 11-5. Northwestern with a 20-win season, so they're down 1 in the loss column. Northwestern has 3 of its final four remaining games on the road. So we'll see how gritty. We know they're gritty, the Wildcats, when they head out on the road with one home game remaining. Indiana's 10-6. Then you've got Maryland, Iowa, Rutgers, and Michigan at 9-7. Now the good news there, the Hawks own the tiebreaker with all three of those because they've defeated Maryland and Michigan. Those are one plays. And Illinois was a one play. Michigan State is 8-7. Illinois is 8-7, hosting Minnesota. They're just underway down in Champaign-Urbana. And then you have two teams fighting for postseason, Penn State and Wisconsin at 7-9. Freddie Hoiberg's Nebraska Huskers with a big win this weekend. They're 7-10. The Buckeyes and the Gophers bring up the rear. So there you have the Big Ten standings up to date. We'll take a break. When we come back, more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
When you set up a savings goal with U.S. Bank, it grows with you. There's no limit to what you can crochet. Can do. Doesn't have to be crocheting, but it totally could be. Like the headphones you're listening to this ad with, you could totally crochet those. There's no telling where your savings goal will take you. Maybe you'll save enough for yarn to crochet your house or the whole town. Oh, right. Doesn't have to be crochet related.
Set up savings goals on the U.S. Bank mobile app, even for the wildest of dreams. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At US Cellular, we think phones are great, but they're not always great for us. Because while they connect us to so much, they can also distract us from, well, us. The us that actually laughs out loud with each other instead of just texting it. That knows being in the same room doesn't always mean being together. So let's find us again by putting our phones down. Not forever, just for 5. 5 days, 5 hours, even 5 minutes. Join US Cellular in the Phones Down for 5 challenge. Find out more at uscellular.com/findus.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
The Honda HR-V, CR-V, Pilot, Passport, and Ridgeline. They all have one thing in common. They never back off from a challenge. Available with all-wheel drive, the Honda SUV lineup has the performance you can count on and the capability to amaze. It's no wonder Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com named Honda the 2022 Best Value brand.
So get to your Central Midwest Honda dealer. Honda gets the Midwest.
Based on 2022 brand image awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for more information.
Few minutes left in our Hawk Talk program for this week with Coach McCaffrey, with Fran McCaffrey. Matt Gatens gracious enough to sit in and fill in for Coach tonight, who's up watching his son Jack play in the Sub-State tournament as the Iowa High School postseason is underway. Congratulations to all the teams. All the best of luck to how many classes are there now? 28?
In Iowa, there's still 4.
No, there's more than 4 in there. Isn't there
Football,
A, 1A? Huh?
Football,
there's 5.
I think so, yeah.
A1.
So there's not 5 in basketball.
I think there's 4 in basketball, yeah.
Did you guys, I'm trying to remember if City High got to the state finals. Did you win it one year?
We won it, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Senior year.
Well, it's that time of the year, March Madness, right around the corner for colleges. It's already started for the high schools. Now, you're a few years, we're talking with Coach Gatens here, you're a few years into your coaching career, but you're first at Iowa. how the ups and downs go. I'm sure you've learned a lot from Coach McCaffrey. What's been most pleasant for you?
Being back here with Coach McCaffrey, gosh, just being around great, good guys, working with great players and guys I've had relationships with before I got here, but just being able to coach those guys and there's a lot of fun to be around and coach, develop, go to war with. It's just been a lot of fun. This team's been fun, and we have a close-knit staff. I think it's just a lot of good guys that we get along with and have a good rapport with. I've told people that's just been the nice thing about transitioning into a new job is, obviously I'm going to work for a coach I have a relationship with, that goes, you already have that trust, know how to work with each other, talk to each other, and things like that. But past just Coach McCaffrey, just other guys on staff, Coach Dillard, Coach Eldridge, both those guys I've known for a long time, and just, all along down the line, the managers, Shelley, Brad Floyd, just, Matt White's, just everybody, like I already kind of had a relationship with to make the transition that much easier. And it's just been great being back in Iowa City. It's just, it's home, so it's pretty special.
Matt, are you able to turn it off, win or lose? I have a hard time with it. I always have. But tough to get to sleep, especially after a loss. And sometimes the wins are like, you're sky high. And I don't know, other guys can turn it off. And my brain won't shut off.
Yeah, it can be tough at times. I think I've always managed it pretty well. You come home, and your kids are pretty excited to see you. And, my son's getting to the age now, though, he understands it and he watches it and he's like, gosh, Dad, we weren't very good last night. And he tells me this morning, I'm like, thanks, buddy. I get to hear from you too.
Yeah, there you go.
But he just
trying to help.
Yes, he's great.
He doesn't single you out individually, though. He's talking about the whole team, right?
Yeah, Dad, you coach pretty poor.
That'll come down the road.
No, it's awesome having them, around the program. And Coach McCaffrey does a great. I was going to mention it was my daughter's birthday this week, and so we're in the post-game locker room at the Ohio State game, and here comes Margaret in the locker room with Margaret McCaffrey with my daughter, and she goes, it's somebody's birthday, and so she brings her all the way into the locker room with the team, and they sing happy birthday to her. This 4-year-old in a princess outfit, and the team singing happy birthday. It's pretty special that Coach McCaffrey would do that.
It's a family affair indeed. Hey, congratulations to Eric up in Dubuque. He's the winner of our Authentic Brand $100 gift certificate tonight.
Eric May?
No, it better not be Eric May. That'd be a recruiting violation, wouldn't it? Does he still have eligibility left? Eric May, that's a good one. I don't think so, but he asked for Coach McCaffrey earlier, when Connor leaves, who's going to be that coach on the floor? That's some good insight there, and Coach gave a great response. He trusts any number of guys, from Aaron Eulis to Tony Perkins to young point guard Harding coming in next year. So thanks to Eric for his question. Of course, Authentic Brand, born in the heart of Iowa. Premium sportswear, serving the everyday demands of small businesses and corporate America. Don't settle for less. Look, feel, and perform your best in the Authentic Brand label. And we've been sponsored tonight by Wellmark, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Attention, Hawk fans, if you buy your own health insurance, Wellmark is on your side and on the health insurance marketplace. Let's give it up for plans you can afford. Check out wellmark.com/hoops and compare plans. The Hawkeye baseball team swept 3 games in Florida to open the season this weekend. 10-0 yesterday over Quinnipiac. Congratulations to Coach Heller. Coach Heller and the Hawks, by the way, will host 27 home games, including multiple Big Ten weekend series. Season tickets and custom mini plans, they are now on sale. Visit HawkeyeSports.com. Brody Breck touched 100 miles an hour in his debut over the weekend at Port Charlotte. And, of course, the average is around 96, 97. That's not bad. Hopefully he can get to stay healthy enough to play some wide receiver this fall.
That's kind of expected now, isn't it? Kind of like how basketball is about shooting threes, and baseball it's like you got to throw the heat.
97 is really up there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can cross 90 and have a little movement to it, at the Big Ten level, that's outstanding. And how about Spencer Lee yesterday wrapping up his 51st consecutive dual meet victory, 26-0 this year, pinned another guy inside of a minute. That's very Dan Gable, Tom Brand's like. He's had a phenomenal career as the Hawkeyes. I understand the crowd was a little raucous, a little vocal yesterday. Not that it always isn't. Sold out again at Carver.
That's awesome.
So the Hawks are getting ready for the Big Ten championships coming up in Ann Arbor in 2 weeks. Tickets available. Just log on to HawkeyeSports.com. We'll come back for our remaining moments with Coach Gatens on Hawk Talk from the Edgewater Grill and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency right after this on Hawk Talk from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Time to redo this basement?
Yeah. A home gym, movie theater, model train utopia.
Or yoga studio?
I'm flexible-ish.
Great. I'll just use the U.S. Bank mobile app so we can plan it out.
Which way are you leaning? Setting a savings goal or applying for a home improvement loan?
I say we look at both options, right here in the app.
Budget for a really good home gym. We deserve it.
Noted.
Help for today, planning for tomorrow. That's what U.S. Bank is for. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together. Equal housing lender member FDIC.
Back to our remaining moments tonight's Hawk Talk program with Coach McCaffrey. Matt Gatens filling in for Coach. The Hawkeyes, I want to come back to Connor McCaffrey, Matt. When you watch him play, he has 10 rebounds one night, 13 assists the next game. There just isn't anything he can't do or be a part of. And, you know, last night was tough, I know, with 15 turnovers, but prior to that, the Hawkeyes had a +7 turnover margin for the third consecutive contest. In other words, you're turning the other guy over 7, 8, 9 times. I think it was at Purdue more than they're turning you over.
Yeah.
And that comes right back to Connor's heart and soul, taking care of the basketball, finding open teammates. When you watch him play, what strikes you about not only this year but throughout his career, how steady he's been?
Yeah, I mean, just so many things. You know, just his maturity. Leadership, competitiveness, but then his, obviously his vision and his IQ is just off the charts. That was on full display against Ohio State, and it was cool to see him get some, some big time national attention, and well deserved for that. He's just so important for us, as you said. He just does so many different things, and he guards multiple positions. Calling out coverages, make sure guys are in the right spots. IQ through the roof. Joy to coach. He's coachable and fun to be around, and I've known him for a long time. It's just been really, really cool to get to now coach him and be in the trenches with him here now.
Yeah, where do you see his future going?
I
basketball.
I think he will. Yeah, I don't know what level or where, but I think he'll probably just figure that out as he goes, and he'll have plenty of opportunities because not just because of his dad's obviously a very successful coach, but just because the name he's created for himself around the game. People know his IQ, what kind of person he is, and I think people, everyone's always saying he's going to be a great future coach, which I believe. So it'll be fun to follow him and see what happens, and maybe someday get to coach alongside him.
Final question for me, Matt. Big 9 days coming up at Wisconsin, home 11 o'clock Saturday, Michigan State, and then at Indiana. Thoughts?
Yeah, it's like we were talking off the air. It's just a lot of games in a short amount of time. It's like a game, 2 days off, game, two days off. So you got to flush it like a game like last night and go to the next one. Stay healthy is key. Load management here and these practices. Just a lot of mental reps, a lot of film. So we're excited. We're put ourselves in a good position. It's gonna be exciting. This is what you do for it. Put yourself in position going into March and hopefully get a really good seed going into the Big Ten tournament. We're competing for a double bye, which is awesome. The last year we won it here, and we're the 5 seed, I want to say. We played 4 games, so we were close. Yeah. And so this year, after the 0-3 start, to be right there, competing for the double bye. It's gonna be exciting here. Home stretch last week and a half.
Matt, thanks for stopping out tonight and helping out with our Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey, and we appreciate it. We'll have you back again. Sherman was here a couple weeks ago. It's always good to get to know the staff. We got to get Courtney out here some night and have him talk Hawkeye basketball. But Gator, keep shooting. You're open. Keep shooting.
Keep firing.
Illinois is up on Minnesota 18-8 down in Champaign, about midway through the first half of that game. Tomorrow night, the Hawkeye women are at Maryland. Go Hawks. And then Wednesday night from the Kohl Center in Madison, Bobby and I will greet you at 7 o'clock for Iowa and the Badgers. Until then, good night, everybody, from the Hyatt Regency and the Edgewater Grill and Bar.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Hyatt Regency, caring for people so they can be their best. Bud Light, it's for the fans. Brought to you by Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, score big savings at HyVdeals.com. U.S. Bank, proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular, take the phones down for 5 challenge. Visit uscellular.com/fines to learn more. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.